Up until tonight, I thought Caroline is just trying to have a laugh. I don't think that deep down she's a bad person, but I changed my mind tonight and I've actually came to a whole new conclusion. Big Brother UK 2025, episode 35, and today they had the Perfect Day challenge. Now, this challenge was evil. This is the sort of challenge I would expect for Big Brother Australia. And speaking of Big Brother Australia, it starts in 3 days. Who's watching? Personally, I can't wait. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. The housemates have to have the perfect day. They're woke up with alarm clocks and they've each got to find an alarm clock. So Tate was in the shower, he didn't manage to find his clock and they had to start all over again. Now, as you know, I cannot stand it when people give up on tasks too easily. But see with this, for the second part of the task, they had to have the perfect breakfast. And Tate had to catch all the items of the breakfast and then eat it. And I'm going to have to be completely honest here. If I was in Tate's position, I would say, look guys, we should try this like 3 times and if I fail we should just give up. Because I am absolutely crap at catching things. He only had a small circle. Plus he had Caroline goading him and she's like, oh, he likes to always be right, he likes to always win. And so she obviously wasn't helping matters. And I get that she thought that she was just trying to have a laugh, right? But she was driving me insane. Now I know that there's plenty of people out there who support Caroline and they think that her behaviour is entertaining. Personally, I don't see what's entertaining about bullying people and winding people up deliberately. That is different if it's a close friend or somebody that you know really well and you're winding them up like the way you do with your close friends, like your best friends. But half the people in that house can't even stand her. So she just finds it funny to annoy people. And she even said herself, oh, it's not fun winding up Richard because he doesn't react. Tate always has to win, he always has to be the best. He's a dictator, blah, blah, blah. And she's doing it just to get a reaction, right? Now, normally children do things like that. They like to wind people up to get a reaction out of them. And a few years ago, I took a great interest in studying personality disorders. And I've said this many times when I was watching Maths Australia. And I have been thinking to myself, I really genuinely do not think that she is a bad person. But the night I thought, do you know what? I actually think that she's got some sort of narcissistic antisocial disorder because she gets joy out of annoying people and it's not even her close friends. It's people that already can't stand her. And I'm the sort of person who, if somebody doesn't like me, then I'll wind them up as well. But I would never wind somebody up about their religion or like the things that she winds people up about. That's the difference. So Caroline was shouting at Tate, oh, it's easy, how can you not catch it? It's a massive tray, it's a small bit of toast. I just says, do you know what? I'm going to try this one more time and see if Caroline doesn't shut her fucking mouth. I'm not trying it again. And that's it, because you're doing my nut in now. So then the next part of the perfect day was the perfect nominations and they only had 7 minutes for the 10 of them to nominate. Had been like that, holy fuck man, I can't run to save my life. It didn't help that Big Brother was like, who's your nomination and give you reasons for nominations, and he didn't just let them speak, right? Obviously, it was so infuriating. And then the first time that they done it, they were only seconds away, and I was in the bath and I was like, oh my god, run, right? But like, they just didn't have enough time. Poor Tasia, she only had like 15 seconds to run to the diary room, make her nominations and come back. I was like, Big Brother, hurry up! So of course they're failing, back to bed, back to bed, back to bed. Then when they get to the final task, Elsa dropped the ball the first time. They get to it again. Richard dropped the ball. They get to it again and the ball got to Jenny. And I tell you what, she done an excellent job at balancing that ball. But in the end, they failed the task. It was a hard task. It was, I'll give them that. And they found out several times that Nancy, Jenny and Caroline were up for nomination. So in between they were having conversations and they were moaning about pigeons. And Tasia was saying, oh, pigeons are stupid. And Elsa says, no, they're not. Like, why did we use them to send messages and all that? Like, pigeons are so not stupid. It's the people are stupid for the way they treat them. They turned them into pets. They used them for their own benefit. And then they just ditched them. And now they moan about them all the time. What did they expect? Now, one thing that I will say is that tonight, Elsa in the diary room was my favourite version of Elsa. She went in there, she was ranting about Caroline, and she was annoyed. because obviously Caroline, once again, she's just having a laugh, and she's like, oh, somebody make Richard tea, oh, they only made you tea because I told them. Oh, straighten your face. I'd be like, who the fuck are you telling to straighten your face? You're the most miserable fucking cunt in the place. And that's the thing again, like I say it all the time, you can have wee laughs and jokes with your pals, but she takes it to a point where it's actually nasty. So Elsa was pissed, and she was in the diary room ranting, and I thought, this is the side of Elsa that I enjoy. I hope to see more. Like, you can be a nice person, right? And she's always saying, oh, she chooses kindness and all that. You can be a nice, kind person and still go on a rant. It's perfectly acceptable. So at the end of the episode, once again, Caroline's having a laugh, and she pulls the Bible into it again. Why the fuck does she keep doing that? It's really strange behaviour to bring somebody's religion into it when you're slagging them or when you're having banter or whatever the fuck she thinks she's doing. As somebody who's not even religious, I would not do that, right? So I don't really know, I don't really get like the whole problem that she's got. What made it even worse is that a few weeks ago when they were doing face-to-face noms, she decided to save Tate, and she's like, oh, maybe we'll like go together or we'll have a fumble or whatever, right? And okay, that was a joke. And I had says at the time, imagine Richard said that to Elsa. People would be going off their head. Well, the night, of course, she's winding him up about his Bible again. You and Richard hide behind your Bibles. Oh, and then you get your ass out. Jesus wouldn't have got his ass out. First of all, how the fuck would she know what Jesus would do? How would she know what people used to act like back in the day? She knows fuck all. And second of all, imagine, visualise and think, right? See if there was a girl in there who was a stripper or an OF model, and a man says to her, why are you reading the Bible? You get your tits out, or like your whatever out. You've got things out on the internet for people to see. Can you imagine a man spoke to a woman like that? They'd get a warning for it. And if I was in that house, I would get in the diary room and I'd say, Big Brother, why are you allowing her to speak to him like this? It's absolutely diabolical. I'd maybe say to him first, like, are you not bothered by that? He probably wouldn't be, right? But like, it's just total double standards. So remember, it's vote to save. A few people have messaged me the night and says, I voted for this person. And I says, oh, why did you want them to stay? And they says, oh, no, it's vote to go. And I says, it's vote to save. It's vote to save. You've made a drastic mistake. Personally, I'm going to vote for Nancy to stay because apparently Jenny wants to go home and Caroline, well, she's just in a fucking nasty piece of work. Let me know who you're voting to stay, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!